Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to also share, like, and comment.
But if Mr. Speaker, I must thank you most sincerely for permitting the people of Lumezi to speak to this very important debate. This bill, Mr. Speaker, I'm convinced beyond any doubt of measure that is equating to debating ourselves. That is problem number one. Mr. Speaker, this bill should have been dealt with as a business house. The challenge is that we are putting our colleagues that go through difficulties on the right in harm's way. They will not vote freely. Mr. Speaker, this bill, Mr. Speaker, does not make sense. A district commissioner that you intend to sit in this committee has free fuel, which MPs do not have. None of those MPs on your right have free fuel. And you want them to be representing the aspirations of their respective constituencies. We've cheapened the office of a member of parliament. MPs sacrifice so much for their people. And then today, you want to give them extra blood pressure to compete with someone that the executive provides free fuel for. The Minister of Finance gives free fuel to district commissioners in this country, and the outside world believes that Parliament provides fuel for its members, when in fact not. This is confusion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the UPND manifesto had proposed that they will abolish the office of a district commissioner. What has changed? What has changed? Mr. Speaker, we've got a number of sitting MPs here that are a project that were district commissioners and kicked out those who were in cabinet then. History has a tendency of repeating itself. Mr. Speaker, take nothing from some of us. Just for the comfort of my colleagues, I did not win on political party lines. Not that I served as my elder brother from Chasef, who served as PSMD, independent, genuinely clean. But there are those that build up because of these positions you give them. We have no difficulties competing, but is the level going to be fair? The answer is no. One has free fuel. MPs buy coffins, they pay school fees, uniforms for the electorate, and then you come here and bring a BID bill. Honorable Nkombo. Mr. Speaker, if, get me right, I'm using the word if at all there is some incompetence somewhere, and they've picked it that they cannot replace ministers like foreign affairs because of incompetence, that should not fall on our part.
Honorable member, may you take your seat? Honorable member, you're a very good debater, but I don't know why you stray. Huh? Is it public pressure so that you are always in the limelight? What is the problem? You can't be talking about issues to do with the foreign minister. The president has got the mandate as and when he feels like appointing. So you shouldn't talk about that. And this government is functional, so why should you bother to talk about that? So restrict yourself to your debate. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the rate at which MPs do not come back to this House, 90% do not come back. 70 to 90%, Mr. Speaker. Today, surely we should agree to lose that authority as MPs, as drafters of the law, because of one minister who has not agreed to have a consensus with members. Because the normal thing that should have been done, Mr. Speaker, was the Minister of Local Government to sit with all of us and agree. Why didn't he move in and talk to us? We're human beings. We've got feelings. We've got all the qualities of a human being. Can we talk? But he, using the arrogance of numbers, Mr. Speaker, to impose the CDF rules is unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, I will not blame anyone other than the Minister of Local Government, because this bill has been rushed without reaching an agreement with the drafters of the law. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that...
Honorable Member, now you are trying to be personal. This is an executive bill. It's an executive bill. The executive is the one that has brought this bill. By you bringing Honorable Minister of Local Government now, you are trying to individualize the bill. This bill has been brought in by the executive. You may proceed, but avoid moving in that lane.
Mr. Speaker, the executive had a chance to talk to us members. And then we agree it should be win-win situation for both sides. Mr. Speaker, I know of backbenchers from the executive side that do not agree to this bill for so many reasons. Mr. Speaker, we talk to each other as backbenchers. Many times you've delivered rulings to say, talk to your ministers. They don't listen. They don't pick phone calls. Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking to realities and not what people may consider an imagination.
But we've said that we don't debate ourselves. Just concentrate on the bill. There's no need to bring ministers in the context. Is that one way of seeking for a job? Let's ensure that we just concentrate on the bill.
So, Mr. Speaker, speaking on behalf of the very humble people of Lomezi and many other MPs that would not speak to avoid being whipped, I propose that the line ministry withdraws this bill in the interest of all of us that are seated here today. Mr. Speaker, it is not something that we do not want refined. We appreciate the allocation from the Minister of Finance on CDF. We object to be dictated to on what constitutes the composition of that committee. Mr. Speaker, there is no harm. There is no illegality on the minister withdrawing this bill. There is no need to rush this bill, Mr. Speaker. It is not about life and death. Mr. Speaker, it is a very progressive bill that speaks to the aspirations of our people, but for us to impose it on ourselves is wrong. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I was willing to support this bill. Today I woke up on my right side and I realized to say I'm going to oppose, because then I had seen the ills of it. Mr. Speaker, with these few remarks, humbly I request that the Honorable Minister withdraws the bill. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I'll just allow one member from the left, and then we'll proceed in that order. The Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Mr. Speaker, can I be protected? Well, you'll be surprised that I have not stood to debate about the DC. I just want to lay the way things are. I think my starting point, Mr. Speaker, is the Constitution.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JQ.
No, that's bad. My starting point is the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution, Chapter 1, says that any law that is in conflict with the Constitution, which is inconsistent with the Constitution, should not be allowed to take place in our republic to its inconsistency. And why that is there is that, Mr. Speaker, if you care, read Article 152. With many of the proposals that have been made, which are meant to micromanage a decentralization process, which is from 140 constitutional matters from 147 to almost 160. You read 152. It is clear. It says the local government will be the implementing agents at district level, and there should be no interference from the province and the national level. Meaning that even what we do now is wrong, where we have, I think we have introduced in the provincial committee, which is called the provincial, CDF committee. It is wrong. I know that was introduced through the statutory instrument 1123. It's wrong. So my appeal is really to the constitutional order conscious. It's not about who wins the elections. In any case, when we go in elections, both from the right or the left, anyone can lose elections or can win elections. So we should not paralyze this debate to bring it down to elections. We have a constitution to follow. And if we have a constitution to follow, it means that any law that we are introducing as a people should follow the supreme law of the land. And accordingly, the supreme law of the land, in most of the things, even those amendments, arrangements where a representative is supposed to be appointed by the minister, the NGO, congruency, and many others, including the position that has been put there as to sit in the constitution, in the CDF. Having said that, I also want to submit, from my small experience, as a former DC, that a DC has got 8 roles, and the DC is a direct agent of the Republican president at district level. And if a DC is a direct agent of the Republican president, that's why the office of the DC is called the office of the president. And in that particular representation, it means that one of the laws, among the 8 laws, is that the DC is a custodian of the resources in the district. Apart from that, is he also going in there as don't say hey, going there in evaluation and monitoring. Apart from evaluation and monitoring, the DC, by those laws, has been permitted to oversee local government work as well as if there was a way of bringing in a person from the DC's office, not the DC, the figure of the DC, in the Constitution, then in the CDF, then you would have somehow circumvented the question of abusing the Constitution. But the current proposal, excuse me, sir, there was no such a thing. Yes.
Honorable member for Chiruvi, is your mic okay? The way you are talking, it's so loud.
I think it's okay.
I'm worried maybe the facility may burst. You may continue.
I think it's Dundumwezi.
Maybe try to moderate
my voice.
Your voice, yes. Try to moderate.
Okay, I'll be here. Yes. So what I'm trying to score is that let us not get excited. Laws have been made before. I mean, I remember the law that was targeted at the late Mark Boy and many other laws. That turned out to be. Let us not just think that we are the last people to exist as a parliament or the last government to exist. There will be the future. And I think this is an issue of posterity. Where, at what station do we want posterity to find us? Do we want posterity to find us at a station where we are going to have a troubled conscience because we made the bad law which is against the Constitution? I think we need to look at it. And I think the primary gauge Mr. Speaker, the compass, the moral compass according to Article 8, which is talking about ethics and morality, is the Constitution. Whenever we are making any law, we should bring the Constitution and make it act as a mirror. And anything that doesn't fit in the Constitution, it's repugnant. And if it's repugnant, why should we go forward and push that law on the people? Mr. Speaker, I know that you gave me an opportunity which I should not abuse, and I know that we have to conclude this question. But this law, as it stands, in terms of constitutional order, is a bad law. Yes.
Order. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, wind-up debate.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to stand here and defend this bill. And in doing so, I want to also give my sincere most gratitude for the feedback from all the members of Parliament who have debated this particular bill. It is very clear, Mr. Speaker, and I agree with Honorable Munir Zulu, who indicated that this should have been discussed in camera because the MP believes he's at the center of this matter. Mr. Speaker, when there's something to share.
Honorable Msonda, do you want us to name each other, but tomorrow we are adjourning? Because if you continue, that is the route I'll take. If this is
Mr. Speaker,
pandemonium that is trying to be blown off proportion, if it continues, I'll name one, which won't be good. Tomorrow we are adjourning. So let's adjourn in a good way. The minister, I think the whole country is ready to listen about this bill. So let's just give him a chance.
Thank you very much.
You may proceed.
I was saying, Mr. Speaker, that when there is something to share, many people come to the party. From the vigor of the debates of some MPs about how we should profile this law speaks volumes that this indeed, the decision of the president to fiscal decentralize, to take money to the people was the right decision. And it should be all-encompassing. It should be all-inclusive. And this is the reason why I am very desirous today that we walk on this path together with everyone and not use what my young colleague, the MP for Lumezi, accused me of being arrogant with numbers. This has got nothing to do with numbers whatsoever. And it is demonstrated, Mr. Speaker, by the magnanimity of the members who allowed the deferment yesterday. The purpose of that deferment was precisely to give accommodation to the views that were billowing yesterday. It was hot in here yesterday. We needed to ventilate. And this is the reason why I did a letter to request to defer in order to include most of the MPs' concerns. And I can confirm, without any fear of contradiction, that we have engaged. We engaged at my level. We engaged at Her Honor, the Vice President's level. We engaged one another. And unfortunately, we cannot call everyone to the engagement. We got representatives, senior members and junior members alike, new and old members alike. And in my own view, I want to make a commitment here on the floor of this House that the concerns such as the provincial committee has been fully heard because the government listens. The members indicated that they'll be happy if I delegate the authority to the PLGO. We have done that in the notice of amendments. And you will see that they are there. And when we come to the next stage, they will be there. They came, Mr. Speaker, the issue of trust. Definitely, it is a part that plays a role, the issue of trust. And people are judged by the words of their mouth. I have said to you, and I'll say it again, this process went through the committee. And the committee system is the heart and soul of every parliament.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JQ.
When you say stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? Are we the only stakeholders? The answer is no. Someone says they are the most important. I give it to you. I give it to you because, you know, thinking, wishes has no boundaries. Where I sit here as a minister responsible, I'm here for servitude. And I don't think I'm the most important person. And this is why I'm saying I'm very desirous to work with you. The concerns that you brought out are in the notice of amendments, all of them. The only issue that we have not attended to, where we thought we could bargain and give and take, is the issue of the district commissioner. People have said the DC represents central government. Isn't central government a stakeholder in this whole affair? Isn't it central government that decided that we're going to give the money to the people? Why would central government just say, okay, we've given the money to the people and we have nothing to do with it? That is an act of irresponsibility. My call this evening is for us to search our souls and agree that from our end of the bargain, we have accommodated you. We are desirous that you also accommodate us. The issue of voting is the way to go. I would be a very sad minister if we were not magnanimous and unanimous around a matter like this. Laws are made in order to evolve. They are living documents. Anything that doesn't work can be revisited. For now, it is my plea that honorable members agree with this particular bill and we'll walk and soldier on together until we see any dysfunction. As a matter of fact, all but one of the contentious matters have been duly given to you. You have now the authority to align who you want to work with in the category of the youths, in the category of the disabled, in the category of the women. That has been given to you. Okay? And finally, Mr. Speaker, we must not use this platform for political imbroglio, as Honorable George Mpombo would say, to create an awkward situation out of a good intention. The DC is a stakeholder. The DC has got the right to participate in national building. The DC is the eyes of the president, and the president is the biggest shareholder, where his promises can be met, and they can only be met via offices such as my office, Minister, your office as MP, the DC's office, the mayor's office, the councillor's office, and everybody, including the citizen who has no particular job, but they are all stakeholders. So we must come out of the thinking that me as an MP, I'm the most important person in this particular committee. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
May you take your seat, Honorable Member for Lunte. Point of order is at the discretion of the presiding officer. Once it's been indicated, it's not an automatic issue that you'll be granted. In this case, it's not necessary. Let's proceed. I put the question. The question is that the bill be read the second time. As many are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. No. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, JQ, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.